fly back up. The chances is gonna be very low. But I do want to see something like that happening nonetheless. But anyways, we're gonna be taking a look at game number 2 here in Kalahari versus between B versus C. And it does seem like the flight path is rather central. And if I remember correctly, it is going to be a flight path starting in from the northeast to the southwest. And everyone else have got a place for their own. In fact, Do Easy, they have a place in the central, which is at Refinery, all for themselves, and they're gonna be pretty darn happy. But the only problem here is that Auto Knockout dropped really a little bit too darn close to Secret Movement, and it does seem like we do have one member, or not, 2 members of Secret Movement that has been knocked down already.
Man, Auto Knockout, they have been really, they're like a magnet. It feels like the past 4 rounds that they played in, they've always been dropping into areas where another team is occupied, and they are forced to take on all these early fights. But at least this time, they are getting the better end of the sticks. At least this time, they're getting the kills in, compared to last time where they had to run away. But yeah, just gonna pull out all the stops and try to secure as much as he can. Unfortunately, that's not gonna be the case. Auto Knockout will be able to get a wipe on Secret Movement, and they will start the round off with 4 points in the bag.
A triple kill already for Auto Knockout, or even perhaps even a quarter kill is just a little bit staggered for the side of Auto Knockout. But well played, a good plays coming from Auto Knockout, and of course a great way to start game number 4 for them. So, oof. I'm waiting for them to just go all in, all out, and try to bring something onto the board this time, because, well, the earlier few games just not that good for the Knockout. Actually, game number 1 and game number 2 wasn't so good for them. Game number 3 was decent, but I hope that they can evolve that decent to a great.
Yeah, I think we even we were surprised, like, how Auto Knockout was not able to put on the performance that they did yesterday in the first 2 rounds. The overall leaderboard tells a very compelling story, right? And how AV Ligers were able to overtake Auto Knockout by the end of the first 2 rounds. But perhaps with the decent performance from round 3 and the good start in round 4, they will be able to catch back up and maintain that lead that they previously had. But Freedom Rumble, they've already gotten a singular pickoff just now, so that's going to put them in a pretty decent position. It was on to Legend Rumble. These 2 teams, they run into each other pretty frequently as well. So Legend Rumble, they were on the wrong side of the island, and they got punished for it. VPH Velocity going for the 2-2 split, and this is going to allow them to cover a lot of ground. And in situations where you know that the enemy team is not nearby, it will allow you to plan out your route even better, and that's exactly what VPH Velocity did. But Views, they might have to face off against SAF, and immediately the gun powder is gonna be filling the air as Wheels takes on SAF directly. Unfortunately, Insanity, it's gonna be clipped by Monmon, and then Monmon's gonna get that first kill, and Wheels suffering that early casualty. They might have to rethink their strat. If you look on the map right now, Views, they're not even close to each other. Everyone is separated. So does Views want to come in to back their buddy up? Maybe this is a chance to stack the entire team, but they realize the 2 of them are all together. So Wheels is going to get Let's Go in return, but they need to secure the kill though. It doesn't matter if the point is not bagged by Bendy. Wants to try something else? Yes, he does. Gets a second down, but West secure. Doesn't get it just yet. What is this guy doing? SAF, you can't just let Wheels run over you like that. You had the advantage, but it seems like that has completely been nullified. SAF, they're left with just 1 guy. Wheels, they held on.
Dragged too long. This encounter has been dragged out way too long, to the point that they allowed NBA Law to come into the fray and provide them suppressing cover, which is something that you definitely do not want. I'm rather surprised that SAF, they did not realize that, hey, they do not have a supporting sniper anywhere. Hey, their supporting sniper is not shooting at us. Hey, we need to do it fast, because it is rather understandable. If you are out in the open like that, and you're not being shot by the supporting sniper, that means the supporting sniper is not in a position to be able to provide suppressing fire to their teammates that is in front and rushing. And SAF, they have such a big lead in order to be fast and furious, but they did not capitalize on it. And by the time they wanted to capitalize on it, and by the time they wanted to rush it all in, NBA Lore is already in position, and thus with the VSS put down quite a lot of damage. At first, it was just suppressing fire, but it became so good for NBA Lore that he can bring one person down just like that.
And well, remember what we said? Hesitation. You gotta move together as a unit. SAF waited too long. That if they push at that very moment, they would have easily been able to wipe out Views, or at least take those two members who were trapped there with them. But that was not the case. They just trickled in. It felt like they tried to go for this 1v1 Mexican cowboy standoff, and it didn't pay off. We'll survive that, and suddenly SAF, they were only left with one team, and he's completely isolated out in the open. There's no good areas for him to go. The best place is probably straight towards Refinery, but that's going to be a long journey. So yeah, tough luck for SAF.
Really tough luck. Well, in the meantime, we're also going to be taking a look at the other side of the map, and we're also going to be looking at Freedom Rumble. Currently, they only have 1 kills for themselves, but it does seem like they do have a general idea that Baby Argons is going to be right opposite of them. We can also see that Joker has opened fire on Baby Argons as well, so a good amount of information has been relayed to the teammates here in Freedom Rumble, and all of them are in position, except for the fact that they are not interested in being overly desperate, and they don't want to be complacent in the positioning that they are at.
And for Geek Fam, yeah, that's slightly unfortunate. Aki was down, and if not sure if they can reach him in time though. Yeah, they're gonna let him bleed out. There's no way that they will be able to rescue Aki. So Freedom Rumble getting the drop onto Geek Fam will dampen Geek Fam's ability to take those early fights. But we have seen Geek Fam playing from behind, and they have the capacity to do so. Speaking about that, Fast Q MY, they were able to get the engage onto Auto Knockout. They're gonna get the first kill. Auto Knockout, they were already crippled early on. So if Fast QM gets to take them out, this will put Fast QMY in a pretty decent position. Shura is left all alone. His team is not going to reach him, and it seems like Auto Knockout, they're just going to bail from this, and that is the wiser decision.
Fast MY, they are taking a slower way into victory this time. They are at the command post, so they are gonna be taking their own sweet time, waiting for the right time to pounce into action. And of course, they only have 2 kills for themselves. It's by no means a bad thing, but having 2 kills when the circle is still this small, I think it is pretty decent already. You can count it kind of like a consolation point to your team. And even if you were to knock down early in the game, you still have points to cover for the early game engagement. So I think so far so good. But for now, let us all take a look at the general map. We do have quite a lot of choke points and of course quite a lot of high traffic in the southern area. We do have Auto Knockout, STP Sound of Gun, as well as Fast Kill MY that is just right around in the command post. Geek Fam, surprisingly, that is going to be at the eastern side of the current circle. Baby Argus as well as Freedom Rumble pretty close to one another when it comes to being inside of Bayfront. So, views, NBA Lore, there we go! This is the man of the hour, and this is the man that we are talking about. One of the top contenders in the MCP Season 1. And thus, you should 100% should not underestimate NBA Lore. But like I was saying, right, inside of Bayfront, we do have Baby Ardens, if I remember correctly. And that is very likely going to be one of the choke points, because everyone else would probably want to head their way into Bayfront.
Yep, and STP Son of Gun gonna go in and take on AKO, but Mirus falls towards the shotgun, and AKO, they know that they have to fight this, but it's gonna be enough though. STP Son of Gun, they do have the full squad there, and Miro is gonna try and peek up and just play along the sidelines, but his time is pretty much limited as the rest of STP Son of Gun, they're gonna come in and try and take him out. Miro still pretty much safe, tucked in the corner, and STP, they're trying to find him, but yeah, there we go. They finally snuff him out. Auto Knockout. They're out in 10th place, but there's nothing much that they can do.
we do have the UAV that is just right on top of the heads of Do Easy, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue and shouldn't be too much of a problem for them due to the fact that, well, they are inside of cover. The UAV is not going to be scoping them out, but in the meantime, Legends Rumble got hit by a two-way flank, and I have no idea how that worked out. Both of them got knocked out at the same time by different people. What a bad place to be at. And I can be 100% sure that Legends Rumble is not gonna get out of this place alive. And because of that two knockouts, that is going to give quite a lot of information to people around the area. Legend Rumble knows that there are two teams around the area, and the other teams that try to take a shot at Legends Rumble, they also know that someone is around the area. And if I am not wrong, Geek Fam is the one that shot. Baby Argon is also the one that shot. And Baby Argons, after looking at a kill feed, they understood that Geek Fam is somewhere around the eastern side, and thus it will make sense why they would have to make their move first, because Geek Fam will come across. Geek Fam will be in Baby Argon's way if they just stood there.
And you can see the circle favoring teams on the northwestern side, where Santa Catarina, Fasco, and Y running into Geek Fam once more. And Fasco and Y, they were the one who caught a lot of attention, right? Kind of people expected them to be on the top. Geek Fam, they were crippled early on, I believe, by Freedom Rumble. They lost one of their members. So Geek Fam, they are working with just 3 survivors, but because Fasco and Y are closer to the circle, they're gonna make the decision to run straight into the safe zone, leaving Geek Fam out in the open. But Geek Fam have been playing these kind of late rotations since yesterday, and so far it's been working out well for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's doing pretty good for them. I'm not gonna lie. And so, how are they supposed to continue on with this game, for example? Because there is still 9 teams available, right? 9 teams, and the circle is on the 3rd circle already. Anything and everything could happen. But for now, for SKMY, I think that they're being flushed by the zone, and it's gonna be pretty darn tough, especially since Do Easy got their crosshairs and their sights onto them, with a good amount of players coming in from Fascul MY being defeated and eliminated. We do have one last player from the side of Fascul MY that is right under the noses of Do Easy. And for now, Freedom Rumble also got himself a single knockdown. This is the point of time where we are very likely gonna see an absolute chaos all around the map.
I mean, Geek Fam, they have to run through Freedom Rumble. The team that crippled them early on is now going to separate them between safe zone and an early exit. But Geek Fam, they don't have the man's advantage though. It's gonna be, I believe, a 3 or 2 versus 4 scenario. It's gonna be pretty tough for Geek Fam, but they'll have to try and do this. And Do Easy, challenged by Fascul and Y. Fascul and Y actually loses out. So Do Easy, they were able to get the high ground control, and Geek Fam, yeah, they're not gonna survive that. Freedom Rumble takes them out. The worst performance for Geek Fam throughout the day, but like I said, with the lead, they can't afford to have these rounds, and Freedom Rumble, another team to be trifled with, as Bayet will be able to get himself dragged. So Freedom Rumble, now they are getting challenged themselves, but they also need to kind of get out of the building. You can see that they are taking those inhalers, utilities are being popped. They need to make themselves into the mountains, because that's where the final circle is going to be. A completely open warfare, and this is going to make things very complicated, as VPH Velocity is going to chip in as well. Views eliminated in 7th place. Freedom Rumble down to the final 2 members.
Anything and everything could happen at this point of time. We do have Freedom Rumble, 5 kills and 2 members alive. And I don't believe that any one of these members does have the grenade launcher onto themselves. But Freedom Rumble, Legends Rumble does have. So whichever team that managed to eliminate Legends Rumble, they're going to pick up the grenade launcher all for themselves. And that is going to be bad news to anyone else in this vicinity. And Baby Argons has now been deleted by Jumble, and I'm not too sure what Jumble has, and I don't know if the Apam will make his way to loot his items, because that could be a possibility. The Apam has there is a possibility that he can pick up a grenade launcher for himself. I'm not 100% sure though, but Jumble, he jumps right off the ridge. jumps right off the formation, didn't realize that Freedom Rumble is right behind of him, and thus the slug shots, the shotguns is just gonna be letting it rip onto the members here. And do easy, a lot of them has been eliminated already, with Man 04 being the last member remaining, currently being shot like crazy from the other side of the rock formation, and STP Thunder Gun with a great spot.
Oh my god, what a fatal mistake by Do Easy. They shouldn't have done that. And this is the second time that they went for these kind of maneuvers and lost out. And they had 4 members, and because of one bad call, they lost the entire team. Freedom Rumble gets to live on when they shouldn't have. STP Son of a Gun now challenged by VPH Velocity. Pugner's gonna find one, but VPH Velocity actually gets wiped out because Freedom Rumble did a chip in as well, and that's gonna be a 1 versus 1 scenario. Can STP Son of a Gun win this out? It seems like that's not gonna be the case. Freedom Rumble make it all the way until the end, and that's gonna be their booyah for this round.